fantastic nutrient combination by minimal calorie intake. That is the change which happened over the decades, slowly. If you eat this kind of food constantly, not only 1, 2, 3 times, constantly, you bring your body out of the balance. The scientific community, meanwhile, agreed that Mediterranean diet is the healthiest diet in the world. If you would like to avoid industry illnesses and also overweight, it is better to eat Mediterranean diet in order to be healthy in long term. I think it is a common approach now which is accepted worldwide over the decades until one publication appeared. That publication came from a very serious organization, that is World Health Organization. They published an European obesity report. In this report, the losers in Europe and around Europe are the Mediterranean countries. They are the most obese countries in Europe. How it is possible that they eat such healthy food and it is such a beautiful diet what they have and they are most obese people? I will answer this question in my video through scientific evaluation. First of all, let's look this report in detail what World Health Organization published. They have evaluated 55 countries in Europe and around Europe, and they have looked in which countries most obese people live, and they have made here a list. And now when we look the first 10 countries, the most obese 10 countries, 5 of them are Mediterranean countries. That are actually Turkey, Malta, Israel, Greece, and Spain. They are all countries which has fantastic and healthy diet, but they are on the top 10, and that is amazing actually. And that is regarding adult people. And World Health Organization evaluated also obesity in children. And what about the obesity of the children? Again, 55 countries, and 8 of top 10 obese children live again in Mediterranean countries. And here you can see the list of all the evaluated countries, and you can see Italy, Greece, Malta, Spain, Israel, Portugal, Cyprus, Turkey. They are in the first 10. It is impressive result actually, and the question is, if they have such a very beautiful and healthy diet, why they have the most obese children and adults? I go in detail to answer this question. Let's start first defining the Mediterranean diet. What is it? If you write in Google, you find out in Mediterranean countries, people eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, legumes, bread, and olive oil. That is true. And they also write that the people eat sweets and meat and fish and also dairy products. Everything is fine because I grow up in Mediterranean countries and I know how is this habit. I know how it was 40 years ago, how it is now. And now I will compare the same habit 40 years ago and now, and we will understand what was the Mediterranean diet 40 years ago, what is Mediterranean diet today. In Mediterranean countries, let's say in Turkey, people were poor, 40 years old, and they were eating beans. It is a standard food actually, beans with a little bit bread and salad. This is the cheapest food what you can get. If you go to army in these Mediterranean countries, you get this food every second day because it is somehow cheap. And now I have made an analysis, scientific analysis of all the nutrients in this dish, and to see what kind of nutrients our body needs and what this very cheap food delivers. Here is my result. Actually, before I do this evaluation, I would like to explain one more time. I work with human cells. We take cells from human body and then I test all the nutrients in laboratory with the human cells to see how the cells react and also to see if I can prolong the life of the human cells. This I have done 25 years long. Now, based on this experience, I have made an evaluation and I found one important message. Our human cells can grow better and have more energy and can live long if all the nutrients what a cell needs are well balanced and at the same time available for the cells. Cells need around 70 or 80 chemicals that are the nutrients. All these 80 must be well balanced. Only then a cell can live long. In this case, for our body, we can live long if our cells live long. And that is now the basic of my evaluation. Look here, we see all the nutrients what the cells in our body need. It is not important to go in detail. Just focus to this red area. That is the optimal range in which every nutrient must be actually. And we can see in this bean and bread and salad, almost every nutrient comes close to this optimal range or within optimal range. I have made analysis of many dishes worldwide. I have never seen a standard dish which is so optimally for our cells like this one. These poor people food, if you eat, you can see directly. Most of the minerals are there, none of the mineral is too much, and regarding trace elements, they are very close to the optimum. Amino acids are fantastically optimized actually. Most of them are in optimum. Some non-essential amino acids are little, but those little non-essential amino acids our cells can produce from these guys. And regarding vitamins, all the vitamins are there except vitamin B12. Why? Because it is a vegan food. There is no meat, no animal product. And B12 vitamin comes from animal products actually. Except vitamin B12, all the vitamins are there and they are very close to the optimum. Regarding fat, the fats are there. The omega-3 fats are not available, of course. And macronutrients like carbohydrates and sugar and protein and dietary fiber, they are very close to optimum. Actually, when I do a total evaluation, that means how many of these nutrients are close to the optimum so that the cells can take maximal energy, I calculate a balance scale of 83%. If you eat these very cheap, very traditional beans, salad and bread food, 83% of all nutrients what your cells need, they are in optimal range. It is extremely high actually. And another important message is you get this fantastic nutrient combination by minimal calorie intake. Minimal, 200 calories. What is 200 calories? If you eat a small sandwich, it has already 200 calories, actually. Well, I still remember when I was a child, sometimes people were cooking the same beans, actually, the same food with meat. But meat was always very expensive, and the people were using very little meat. And it is very common that the people were eating beans and they were searching inside if there is meat because it is expensive. If someone found a small piece of meat, that person was very lucky. Now I have made an analysis of this food. What would happen if you would have this same dish with very little meat? How does it look regarding nutritional profile? And here is the meat containing same dish. Almost everything is optimum. And look here, vitamin B12. That was by vegan dish 0. Now it comes to optimum. Do you know how much meat you need to put here inside in order to get in that dish optimal vitamin B12? It is only 4 grams. 4 gram meat is like this. If you eat this amount of meat with these beans and bread and salad, even your your scale goes up to 85%. It is enormously nutritious food actually, and everything achieved also with meat. That means people don't focus to vegan or vegetarian or omnivore food. They focused earlier actually to something which fulfills them, and they were poor, they could not eat enough meat, and that was actually very positive. Now that is 40 years ago. How is the Mediterranean food today? Let's look at it. Before we go in detail, I would like to show what happened over the decades in Turkey, in Mediterranean countries. Actually, all the Mediterranean countries were very poor. They could not afford a lot of meat or animal products at all. However, over the time, they became more and more rich. The richer they get, the more they have started eating animal products. And you can see that here in this diagram, 1980 to 2020, in 40 years, people in Turkey, but also in all other Mediterranean countries, they have doubled meat consumption per person. Every person today in Mediterranean countries eat double amount of meat compared 40 years ago. And what is the impact of that? Let's look at it. And when you come as an American to Mediterranean countries today, they will not deliver you beans because it is not fashionable. It is boring for the people who live in Mediterranean countries. They deliver something like that. And you would eat meat, a little bit rice, and a little bit salad. Actually, also not very bad food. It is fine. It is a good food. However, compared to traditional Mediterranean diet, these we will see how good and bad it is. And now I have performed an analysis of modern Mediterranean food. Meat, rice, salad, and here is the nutritional profile. Regarding ions, the minerals and trace elements, actually there is no big difference. However, we start seeing big difference in amino acids. Because you eat more meat, it is more protein, more amino acids. And you see, you take the essential amino acids more than what you actually need. Non-essential amino acids are more or less in optimal range. Move to vitamins, and you can see there are several vitamins, they are below your demand. Actually, you take several vitamins too little, you can see here. And one vitamin, vitamin B12, you take a lot, much more than what you really need. And here, the scale I have cut out, normally it goes up here. That means even in this little amount of meat, you take so much vitamin B12 what you actually don't need. But all other vitamins are lower than what you need. Therefore, there is an extreme imbalance in vitamins. When we move to the fats, saturated fats and cholesterol first time goes up. Also cholesterol and saturated fats. Both are not something what we need to eat a lot, and both are more than what we need actually. And regarding macronutrients, here you can see fiber, too little. Very big difference to traditional food actually. It is more goes to American diet where the people suffer from little fiber, and that goes in that direction. Here, first time I have compared traditional food and modern food. Both are Mediterranean. And today, as an American, as Canadian person, when you come to Mediterranean countries, they will not deliver you this food. They will deliver this one because it is modern. And let's look how is the nutritional profile of both of them. Balance scale in traditional food is 85%. 85% of all the nutrients, all the 60, 70, 80 nutrients, what you need, they are in optimal range actually. And in this food, you get 48%, much less. And important, The energy content of traditional food is 200 kilocalories, here 447. Here we have to make a break. Why? Both foods are 200 gram. One portion, I have calculated 200 gram. The quantity of both foods are the same. But if you eat this food, you get more than double of energy and you get half of the nutrients as you get here in traditional food. That is the shift. That is the change which happened over the decades slowly. And the reason for that is that the people get richer and richer. The richer they get, the more they lost the tradition, went to eat more animal food and bring the nutrients out of the balance. If you eat this kind of food constantly, not only 1, 2, 3 times, constantly, you bring your body out of the balance. There is another aspect. I remember I was child 40 years ago. 40 years ago, also sweets were very expensive. We could not buy sweets all the time. I remember my aunt, she was giving me one small chocolate every Saturday. We were getting one small chocolate and it has a calorie of 208. That was per week, not per day. Today, when you go to school, here, when you look to school in Mediterranean countries, maybe every third and fourth child has overweight already. Therefore, WHO, World Health Organization, publication is absolutely true. Even the children get overweight now in Mediterranean countries because they get every day one chocolate, one small chocolate. And that is the best case actually. Some children get even 2, maybe 3 per day. And then 1,500 calories in a week compared to traditional food. My name is Dr. Kylie. I searched with human cells in the last 25 years in my own biotechnology company. I have tested the nutrients if I can prolong the life of the cells in our body. The answer is yes. I have started sharing my experiences in weekly videos. If you follow my videos, you will learn the importance of nutrients, how it prolongs the life of our cells. Please subscribe my channel now.